Welcome to Book Tease. I'm your host, Jamie, and this is the podcast that reminds you that even the mom next door likes her fiction filthy. We are in our MILF Mayhem month, which has been so much fun, and we're going to continue the fun with this week's book. And just a reminder, we do have spoilers in this podcast. I spoiled the whole book, so if you're not ready for that and you want to read this week's book first, pause, read the book, and come back. This week's book is 9-Month Contract by Amy Daws, and it is book 1 in the Mountain Men Matchmaker series. Y'all, was this book fun? I had fun reading this the first time a few years ago, and I had fun reading it again. I'm not even going to lie. I was just going to skim through to refresh and then ended up rereading the whole book. So it happens, right? I do have a trigger warning in this book, though, and I'm not one that's heavily triggered. I have very few. In fact, when I like a dark romance, this is not. This is very rom-com-y, but I tend to like a dark romance, and I am one of those, you had me at trigger warnings, y'all. I love it. I love a good trigger warning. But this one is not really a trigger warning that the book gives. It is one that after reading through some of the comments, like on Goodreads and whatnot, I felt compelled to just note, because it is something some people can be very sensitive about, and rightfully so. This book dives heavily into surrogacy. Trista, our main female character, is a surrogate. And so that's why she's pregnant. That can be very sensitive to some people. And people take that very seriously, as they should. But in this book, they are not following the proper surrogacy protocols. We'll just say that. And it works for this book. Obviously, this is not the way it would happen in real life. And it shouldn't. If, you go into surrogacy, it is a very serious contract. It is something you need to prep heavily emotionally before you get into it. It's a whole thing, and it's kind of glossed over and just treated as a plot line and a way for the characters to meet and get into a situationship. If that is something, if surrogacy or wanting to be a single parent is something that touches you deeply, then you might want to listen with caution. And, I am a big advocate of your mental health comes first before anything, especially just pure entertainment. You should definitely take care of yourself. That being said, let's dive into it. Wyatt is our main male character, our MMC. And this dude is a quiet, kind of grumpy, very burly mountain man. And he lives on top of a mountain with his two brothers. He has 3 brothers total, but only 2 of them live on the mountain with him. And the book opens with a really delightful wanted ad that his brother so kindly put into the newspaper for him. I'm going to read it now. This is the help wanted ad. And this is just the beginning of it. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but you'll kind of get the flavor. Help wanted. Grumpy mountain man seeks baby mama to grow his seed. Uterus a must. Ovaries negotiable. Boobs not required, but a nice bonus. ... It continues from there in all crazy silliness. And it's because Wyatt, who is pushing 40, I think he's like 38, he wants to be a single dad. He desperately wants to be a dad, but he doesn't want to be a husband. He's had a bad relationship in the past, and so he doesn't really want another relationship. What he wants is he wants a family of his own. He wants a baby of his own. So he lives in a small town in Colorado, and he works with his brothers. Like I said, it was his father's company. It was a construction company. And his father has passed 2 years prior to the opening of this book. and it's still something they all deeply feel. Wyatt and his brothers build smart green homes, and they're all very, very wealthy. So they've built these cabins. 2 out of the 3 brothers that Wyatt has built cabins, and they all kind of live compound style on top of these, on top of the mountain in these cabins. They each have their own, and they're the mountain men of this town. And it's a small town in Colorado, like I said. And they're all self-sustaining cabins. They're all part of his like green living thing that he does. And like I said, he's desperately wants to be a dad. However, the primary like big name surrogacy center that he's been going to, he has passed on 12 different surrogates. And they finally said, look, you're just not a good fit for us. So he has found something he doesn't like about every single one. And we turn out Wyatt is very much the, I want to hear the truth no matter what. So when they give him these flowery answers about how I just want to help someone with my gift, while that might be true, he's like, you don't want to help a stranger that much. Just be honest with me. I want the full truth. Truth bomb me, if you will. And he doesn't want someone who's already has a family or is married. He's like, that just feels weird. The surrogacy center told him, you're not a good fit for us. We obviously can't match you. We've tried with 12 different people and you've turned them all down. So find something else. Enters Trista. Trista is this super curvy. She is a plus size, full figured lady, and she loves animals. And that's the main thing to know about Trista is this girl loves animals more than people. And she wants to build her own rescue center, but she wants it to be for the animals that are usually turned away from regular rescue centers. She's talking farm animals. She wants to be able to take in goats and rabbits and chickens and whatever. She wants to take it in and love them and find a place for them so they don't get hurt. And that's her dream. But she needs the funds to do this. And so after looking around at all her options, because girl hustles, she already works like 3 jobs. She's just out there doing the thing. She sees an ad for that same surrogacy center in Denver. And she's like, you know what? I'm perfect for this. I have all the working parts and I do not want to have a baby of my own. Like, I want to know what it feels like to have one growing inside me. It's something I've always been interested in, but I do not want to have my own children. She had a really terrible upbringing. Her parents were very neglectful. They left her. She only has her sister in her life, and she only talks to her a couple times a year. They're not super close. And so to her, family equals pain and loss. And so she doesn't want her own. She's like, I'm not going to be a good mother. I didn't have anything. I didn't have the right representation or examples of what a good mother should be. So I don't want my own kid. But if I could give a kid to someone who really wants it and get paid in the process to, make my dream come true, then that is what I want to do. So she goes to the surrogacy center and she's turned away for being overweight. Now, their version of overweight goes by that antiquated BMI scale where they don't take into account how tall or how athletic or anything. They're just like, doesn't matter how tall you are. If you're over 200 pounds, you're overweight and we're not taking you. She's like, I am a healthy woman. I'm very tall. I've always been curvy. This is my healthy weight. And she doesn't say what it is, but we know she's over 200 pounds. So she's turned away automatically. And prior to this, Everly, which is Wyatt's niece, she is the daughter of Max, the only brother that does not live on the mountain. He has his own house. He is very wealthy in his own right. He is a prominent businessman. He has always enjoyed business over mountain life. So he wears suits where all his 3 other brothers wear flannel primarily. So It's his daughter. And the thing about Everly is she is the darling of the family. Max had her when he was really, really young. Basically, him and his brothers had to tackle this, like, being a young father, and she just wrapped them all around her pretty little finger, and she is the darling of the family. Well, she is graduating high school and about to move abroad to Ireland, and they are all beside themselves, which is what's kickstarting Wyatt wanting a kid of his own, because he's going to desperately miss Everly. And so he's like, I don't want to be married and do this traditionally, but I want my family. I want a child. And Everly, because he can never say no to her. None of the brothers can say no to her. Her father can't say no to her. This girl is the darling, okay? And she is the matchmaker. Remember, the series is called Mountain Men Matchmaker? Everly is our little mastermind. And she's a Swiftie, so it all kind of comes together in the cutest way. She has made him agree to allow her to find him a surrogate her own way outside of that surrogacy center. And he's like, okay, fine, I'll let you do it. So Everly bumps into Trista. She's going to the center to try to see what they are, how their process is, so she can kickstart her own search. And she literally runs into Trista. Trista's leaving, and Everly is coming in, and they collide. And then they start chatting because Trista is like mid-rant about how the BMI system's antiquated and how, she's healthy. Wait, and I can't believe they told me no, and da-da-da-da-da. And Trista's like, would you have my uncle's baby? Because she just vibed with her straight away. And Trista's like, you're one crazy kid. What are you talking about? After they have a good conversation and they kind of feel each other out, she's like, look, just meet with my uncle. I think you'd be perfect. You're exactly what he's kind of looking for. And it's something you want to do. And you all are both not working with this agency. Why don't you just go outside of the source? And what's the harm in at least meeting up and getting a free dinner? I'll give you a brief overview of the meeting, because Wyatt asks her, why do you want to do this? By the way, the girl has a kitten in her purse or a puppy in her purse. She has a puppy in her purse because she loves animals so much. And she got it from her rescue, and there wasn't a space. So she's like, I got to take him with me. And so I stuck him in my purse because I had this meeting. I mean, she's kind of a mess. She is all over the place. She is so adorable. So anyway, that was a interesting first impression, having a dog in your purse. It peed in her purse. And Wyatt's like, oh my God. But he liked her energy. He liked that she was so honest and just kind of crazy. And he thinks she's a knockout, first off. Like, the man loves a curvy woman. And here is this like wild bombshell, just crazy energy, unapologetically herself right in front of him. And he is just like, damn. But he's not trying to look at her like that. He's trying to look at her like a potential surrogate. And he's trying to do things the proper way. And we'll see how long that lasts. But he asks her, why do you want to do this? And he's like, okay, let me see if she gives that same cotton candy answer. But she doesn't. She tells him the truth. She goes, okay, you want a truth bomb? Here's a truth bomb. I want to know what it's like to grow a baby and feel that inside me. But I don't want a baby of my own. I've never wanted to be a mother. I've done the psych evaluations, that you're supposed to do leading up to trying to be a surrogate. And they say I have a great mindset for it. I'm just not wanting a baby of my own. But I do want to help someone who does want a baby, who is going to care for the baby, who is going to give them that home life that I don't feel like I ever got. And I really could use the money to kickstart this venture that I'm wanting to do. And she explains about her rescue center for farm animals. And she's like, this is my dream. And if I could help someone and make this money in this beautiful way, I'm not going to use my uterus for me. I might as well use it to make someone happy and get the money to accomplish my dream. So win-win. And he loved her answer. He's like, okay, I love that. I love that you're so honest. So they go through all the contracts and they, nail down everything. And in this, I was impressed that they did things the traditional, like they had lawyers look at it. They covered everything. Like they were very, this is how much money, this is what this stipend's for. This is what there's a stipend for maternity clothes and health care and all the things. Anyway, they go about that appropriately. But one of the things that was in that cute little ad that Everly kind of snagged her with is that there is an apartment on the mountain that she can live in during the term of this contract, this 9-month contract. And she got caught with a potbelly pig in her apartment. So she really is about to be homeless, which is one of the things she tells him in the truth bomb. I'm about to be homeless and you have an apartment. And this just seems like a perfect win for me or for both of us. So she goes to move into the apartment. And this is when she finds it's over a barn. And this is when she's like, okay, there's 3 mountain men on this beautiful mountain. And this barn is nicer than the apartment that I had. It's an apartment above a barn. And then she put her pig in the barn. She tells him the night she moves in, by the way, I'm ovulating. Well, let's go ahead and get this show on the road. He's like, tonight? And she's like, yeah, might as well. I looked up on all the lesbian blogs because the lesbians know how to do surrogacy and they know how to, her point was they've really perfected this making a baby without having to actually do anything physical with men. Fair, very fair. So the method she's like, let's try this tonight is to get a little plastic ranch cup. He uses it for salad dressing for his lunches. It's a little plastic dressing holder and a syringe from a baby Tylenol, and to suck the semen up into that syringe and insert it. And because it has to happen immediately, she's like, okay, you go in there and make the semen and just leave it in there. And I'll go in there and insert it. And I have to have an orgasm right after insertion because it's supposed to help, activate. So he's like, well, you could just stay in my bed. And they have a very awkward, first time at this where they're both so attracted to each other. And so he ends up thinking about her while he's jacking off. And he's like, oh, my God, am I supposed to think about my surrogate like that? And then she ends up sleeping in his bed with her little pink vibrator with his semen. Oh, my God, it was such a mess. So anyway, they try that for a few weeks and she's freaking out about every negative test. And he's like, look, we're just starting this, man. I'm expecting this to take a minute. We're trying to do it this way, but there's lots of other ways we could go about it if you end up. We'll try again next month. Right when she introduces why don't we just try the natural way? She gets a positive pregnancy test. Yay for ranch cups, I guess. That happened really quick. So now that they're super attracted to each other, they now know that they're both attracted to each other, but there's not a reason to try to have a baby. They're trying to tamp down this desire for one another. But now that she's pregnant with his baby, he's feeling even extra territorial of her. He tells his brothers, don't you even look at her and don't you talk to her. And this wild woman here, she keeps bringing random animals up on this mountain. And he just lets her because he likes her so much. And, he'll put up a fuss. But Wyatt's the type, he'll put up a fuss and he'll be real gruff. But he also is so sweet. He's bringing her breakfast every morning. He buys her a bed because he doesn't think the bed that's in that apartment's good enough. He's reading baby books and just surprising her with he'll just put gas in her car and do all these sweet little things to make her life easier. I love that. I am a type where it's the little acts of kindness that just get me in the feels. Like if my man decides to like surprise me with a coffee or let me sleep in a little bit or just surprise me by taking my car and putting gas in it because he knows I have somewhere to go the next day. I mean, that sort of stuff is what I love the most. I way more enjoy stuff like that than these grand gestures. So, yay, Wyatt. I loved that. One really cute thing is that the chapter headers in this book keep track of, one, how many weeks pregnant she is, and two, how many animals are currently on the mountain. And she brings in first the potbelly pig, and then this little mini horse that has a neurological issue where its tongue just hangs out. And then she brings in some chickens. Then she brings in a rabbit. Like she's just bringing all kinds of animals to this place. The bulk of the book is just all the hilarity that ensues while she's pregnant and them trying to fight their attraction with each other and him doing all these, like she says, you're smothering me with this like overly helpful. She doesn't know how to accept help. And this is why. Her family is just not close. Her parents abandoned them both, her and her sister, when she was 14 and her sister was a little bit older than that. They would always say stuff about how they could have so much more fun if it wasn't for these kids that they have. I mean, they're the ones that got pregnant accidentally and then just hated the fact that they had children. And they were always just wanting to do things themselves. And they're like, well, y'all can't go everywhere we want to go. And just shaming the kids for existing, essentially. It is horrible. And she talks about her sister going downstairs and just waiting for a delivery driver to pull up and then being like, oh, that's our pizza. My mom sent me down here. And like getting dinner that way because they did not have money and their parents were never around. I mean, it just sounds horrible and so sad. When she was 16, her sister ended up leaving to go move to Hawaii and get married. And now she only speaks to her sister a couple of times a year and they're not super close. And so she just has not had this sweet upbringing. She never has even had a birthday party. Wyatt's family is the complete opposite. His mother is very doting, very sweet. She loves all her children. His dad, they were in a family business together. And he's always like, his dad is just a man he looks up to and still misses. His brothers are so close to each other that they even moved on a mountain together. And, you know, his family is a very close-knit, loving family. So part of what's woven in with all of the funniness and just shenanigans that are happening is this. She keeps seeing bits of his family interacting, like the first ultrasound. His mother was there and she let her into the room, and just seeing how much he and his mother are interacting and how sweet and how kind they were to each other. It just made her fully realize exactly what she didn't have and what this baby's going to have. And it just, it made me, it hit me in the feels, y'all. It hit me in the feels. All right. Well, like I said, they're attracted to each other. So tensions are steadily rising where she's snipping at him and she's like, quit buying me breakfast and quit putting gas. But she'll accept gifts from other people. And so he's getting in his emotions about it. He's like, well, how come you just don't want to accept gifts from me? And she's like, you're smothering me. And like, anyway, tensions arise until Everly's graduation party, where they both go home early from it and they end up just like snapping and saying, okay, we're going to have sex, but it has an end date. After my due date, we're cutting that off and we're going to walk away from each other because I don't want to muddy this. I still don't want to have a baby. So I don't want to raise the baby. I'm not going to stick around. I don't want to get it twisted. I don't want to get it confused. I'm not sticking around. This baby is still yours. And I'm not going to, like, I don't want you to fall for me and I don't want to fall for you. So they set all that out before they even bang in the barn, because that's what they do. They bang in the barn. I mean, not just in the barn. They end up banging everywhere. Because his thing is, all right, if we're going to do this, we get to have sex as often as we want, as much as we want, anytime we want, until your due date. She actually calls it a sexuationship, which is so cute. I thought that was so. I really like Trista, y'all. She had some funny lines. Like half of the quotes that I have are going to be her just being her crazy self. They start falling for each other despite what they say. The sex is really good. It's the best she's ever had, the best he's ever had. They're, really liking each other. They're getting closer and closer to each other. And then the day comes where she feels the baby kick. Once she feels that baby move, suddenly she's not so sure she's going to be able to be out of this baby's life because she's fallen for the daddy. She's fallen for Wyatt. She doesn't want to leave the mountain. She's so happy with where she's at. She loves the family. They feel closer to her than her family ever did. And it's just such a nice feeling to be part of this familial unit where people actually give a shit that you exist and they care about you just for being you. So she's not sure if she's going to be able to just walk away. And so she brings up, well, I want to renegotiate the contract and have contact with the baby. I just want to check in every once in a while and see how the baby's doing. They find out it's a little girl. And she's like, I just want to renegotiate. And she tells him this. They kind of run away in the middle of the gender reveal / baby shower. And she already knew it was a girl. And she lets it slip during this conversation. About the same time, his brother accidentally sets off the little powder cannon and there's pink everywhere anyway. So, I mean, bag, cat's out of the bag or whatever. But she tells him that and he tells her, well, I just want to tear the contract up altogether because I'm in love with you. And I want to try to do this. I want to try to have this relationship and raise this baby together and let me know if that's too much. But he's very much I just say what I want. And he's not scared. He's like, I do not live my life in shame. I go after what I want, even if society tells me that it's crazy. But she tells him during the course of that conversation that she loves him too. And she also wants to try this. But she tells him, don't even think about proposing or anything until after that baby is born. But this is a romance novel. I mean, there's not a whole lot of plot here. I'm going to say there's plot. There's a lot of feelings and it's very sweet and it's interwoven with it's a rom-com. There is so much funny that happens. But interwoven is some, more serious topics about having the type of family that loves you and him wanting to stay close to his brothers, even though they all had a fight over a woman at one point. And he tells her all about her and she's worried at first that maybe that's the girl who got away. And he's like, no, she's the one who made me realize I wanted a kid more than I wanted a relationship. I didn't trust her and she lied to all of us. And then she tried to tell me she was pregnant with my kid and it wasn't. And it broke my heart, not her leaving, but the fact that I wanted this baby. I'm not quite sure when this happened, but they already lived on the mountain. But it was before his dad passed away. So it was more than 2 years prior. And he's been having this I want a baby percolating in his head ever since. But this is a romance novel and it is a funny romance novel. So we don't want to get bogged down with too much emotion or how, questionable it is that he started sleeping with a surrogate and then fell in love with her. We're not going to get into that. Okay, we're not. We're just going to let it slide and just accept it in all the fun it's supposed to be. But they do end up in love. And after the baby is born, he proposes to her and it's all very sweet. And you could tell Everly is already planning how to set up her next uncle because she has it in her head. Little Miss Mastermind is going to set up all her uncles and find love matches for all of her uncles because she loves all her uncles. She's just the cutest. And I love Everly. And I want to read the next book. And I already have it on my shelf back there. And I want to read it because I want to see what other shenanigans Miss Everly is going to get into. Okay, let's go ahead and move along to quotes. I already read the Help Wanted ad because it was super fun and I just had to. This quote is going to show you how Everly is my freaking spirit animal. Her and we're so connected on this, y'all. And it's this quote that screams it. Spreadsheets are my thing. My dopamine high. When I put together a spreadsheet and see everything laid out, all pretty and perfect, it's better than sex. I love a spreadsheet, y'all. I love a spreadsheet. My husband and I joke that spreadsheets are foreplay. Because we'll both, like, when we have a big life decision, we'll come up with a spreadsheet for it, and he'll come up with all these fun formulas, and I'm like, ooh, and then I'll do the organization, and he's like, huh. And so it's just, we're nerds, okay, but it works for us. There's someone for everyone. So I connected with this quote. I could have left it there like that. Yes, ma'am, Everly, I love you. Okay, now this is Trista. She says this throughout the whole book until they finally decide to get together officially and try to raise the baby. She's trying to remind herself she can't feel a connection to Wyatt, the baby, or his family. And this is how she justifies it to herself. Here's Trista. Inseminate me like a cow, turkey baster style. You could buy the kits on Amazon. Just pull the semen up into the syringe and shoot it up my bajingo. What is a bajingo? He asks her. And she says, it's my vagina. He's like, oh my God. But she says throughout, like, when she's pregnant, she keeps this mantra going, I'm a cow, I'm a cow, I'm a cow. And it's supposed to remind her that in this case, she is like a livestock animal and she is just the incubator for his baby. It is not her baby, because she's trying to talk herself out of getting feelings for him and his family and the baby. This cracked me up, y'all. Okay, this is Trista talking about the brothers. What's the deal with these guys? Did they run out of brawny paper towels? Do they need to kidnap some future brides and take them up to the mountain to get laid? Okay, she does this more than once where she references Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, which is this goofy musical from way back in the day. And I remember watching it, and it is so funny. And it's seven brothers who live out on the mountains or in the mountains, and they kidnap these women and bring them to their house. And basically it's like a Stockholm Syndrome situation where they all fall in love with each other and they all end up getting married together. It is a ridiculous musical. But she's like, y'all are like these mountain men just off living off. But this is when Wyatt tells his brothers not to speak to her. And so they're sitting in this very awkward car ride on the way to Everly's graduation and no one's speaking. And she's like trying to make conversation. And they're just like not talking to her. And she's like, what is wrong with these guys? And this is Trista talking about Wyatt. And this is why we love Wyatt, all in one quote. On the outside, you're this rugged, scary guy offering dirty orgasms. But on the inside, you're total mush, aren't you? Yes, he is. Wyatt is total mush on the inside, even though he presents as this grumpy, burly mountain man that even chops wood in his flannel, like the whole nine. But one of the things that Everly showed her to get her to agree to the meeting is them at a Taylor Swift concert. Because Wyatt is a Swiftie along with her, and he had friendship bracelets going all the way up his muscular tattooed arm, and he's got a beard, and he's just jamming out at the Taylor Swift concert, and it's so funny. It is so funny. And so, yes, Wyatt is complete, total mush in the sexiest possible way. My rating for this book is a 4. I really liked it. I thought it was fun. It was a good ride. It was a giggle fest. It made me kick my feet. It also put me in the feels. It made me want to tear up a little bit. It's everything I want in a rom-com. So I'm giving it a 4. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The spice level is a 3 to me. It's not as kink-filled as last week's book, but there's still some really good spice in there. The man knows what he's doing. And yes, as expected in this type of book, he does have a breeding kink. He is all about shoving that sperm back up in her. But she's already pregnant. So the spice is a 3. I mean, they're doing things. They're saying stuff. They're having sex in a barn. They're doing all the stuff. But it's just not as kinky as last week's book. But definitely still a good bit of spice. So, like I said, everything I want in a rom-com. Moving on to casting, y'all. Okay. Remember when I talked about how plus size, curvy actresses are severely lacking in our world? Like, it's underrepresented. I didn't even bother. I was like, let's just look at all celebrities. And I landed on Denise Bidot. She is a plus size supermodel. And she's beautiful. She's perfect. She's got wild chestnut curls, just like our beautiful Trista. And she's got the curves and she's got the confidence. And she looks like she'd be so much fun. She was on Sports Illustrated, which go queen. Okay, I love that for her. And she killed it. She was gorgeous. So that's who I'm going with. I'm going with Denise Bidot as Trista. And I'm kind of loving this, like, including all celebrities, singers, models, because I'm not going to lie, Adele popped into my head as a maybe baby for this one. And you know what? I think I like this. I like opening up the casting pool here. I mean, because why not? I would watch this as a movie. I think it would be a lot of fun. But, you know, I love a rom-com. I love a feel-good show that has some heart with it. For Wyatt, I'm going with Alan Ritchson. My God, does he pull off that rugged mountain man look? He's got the beard. He's really buff. And he's just got tattoos on his arm. And he's got pretty eyes. But yes, he pulls off Wyatt's look to a T. Sure perfection. He is Jack Reacher in the TV series Reacher. I didn't know this until I looked this man up, but he was Raphael in the Ninja Turtles. And I have to say, as an 80s baby, I love the Ninja Turtles, and Raphael was my personal favorite. Because he's the sassy one. He is the sarcastic, sassy one, and he's perfect. Alan Ritchson was also in Fast X. So there you have it. He's perfect. Them two together, I mean, chef's kiss. It's such a sexy casting, and make this movie. So with that, it brings us to a close. It was a super fun read, and we have one more book in our MILF Mayhem series. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'll see you next week. And until then, stay spicy.
And that's it for this episode of Book Tease. Book and theme reveals and episode commentary can be found at TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Book Tease Pod. Theme music is by The Scraps, and until next time, stay spicy.